Alright. So, I will finally do a thing. I've been thinking about this for a while, and we will be doing a beginner ABN seed, where we explain mindsets and stuff as we go through. So, off the bat, feature log is already implemented on the next random update. Nice, thanks, Gnome. Already off the bat, if you ever have STT as empty and you're not using better STT, wait for limit form. I feel like it's always better. I feel like you should always do Prime Lands, but if you're uncomfortable, then there's always alternatives like Halloween Town, Disney Castle. A little bit of maybe like Agrabah and Beast Castle are good. But I'll get through this. So 3, 2, 1, there you go. Better STT will cost drive when the update is out. Why you gotta hurt me like that, Gnome? Now I'm sad. Now I'm sad forever. So always put on abilities at the start to get movement. Mostly just because you always have to menu anyway. Personally, I just put on growth and then I go for the chests. Because then, once in those chests, then I can actually set like a custom and everything. And then I always check the shop. Ooh, proof. So I scroll pretty fast, but what I look for is I look for and I see if any of these are Fantasia or Flare Force. I see there's a Flare Force, so I will keep that in mind if I ever need it. At this point, I will be doing menus, so usually there's one thing about this game is you can hit L1 to always hit the top menu. So you hit L1 in some cases, but for like Ether, you just go up to the top. Alternatively, you can just hit down so you can see my input display. I do that. I always check accessories and armor as well. If I got any other abilities, I'll check these two guys for if they have a Duck Flare or Flare Force or Fantasia or any other limits or something. And then for my magic, for my custom, I always put an Ether on, but that's my preference. And I always set these guys to party attack or the Pride Land strat. Or STT. Now I'm happy to make people mad. The best timeline. Alright, now this is RNG, but for those who don't know, all you have to do is hold up left on the stick, and then just mash triangle. And you will get the RC guaranteed if you do this fight on the first 2 tries, and if you start with a scroll. Now at this point, when you land on the ground, you basically, I like to go and do like 2 little pokes on the guy that I just rode. So you see him right here, or in this case, since they're both on like the same level field, I'll go for the one that has the head still. I'll jump and just spam square. And because they're on party attack, they'll just be chilling over there, poking at this dude, and he will not attack me. This is a good strat for crit. You can ignore that. I would have lived on crit, but you can just let them do their job. Ooh, explosion to start. It's definitely good to keep track of abilities you grab. It's always good to check chests as well. This is my personal route. I always go through this way. Kind of eliminates as much backtracking and overlapping paths as possible. But for the rest of Prime Lands, all we're doing is just grabbing chests and making sure we get the goods. Personally, even if I get everything in here, like so we're doing shenanigans system where the tracker turns blue after you find the last important check in the world. So it says once more, so it's still yellow, so there's still more stuff here. If I'm done, I still probably finish all the way to Simba in case I get something cool. So once more is super powerful, definitely helps. In terms of beginner, it's not as impactful, but for crit and harder difficulties, it's for sure very useful. For some bosses, obviously, for like Roxas or final fights and all that, once more second chance are always still useful, but you kind of have less fear because of all the potential HP ups you get in chests. I always jump in these, mostly just because when you jump, you instantly can like kind of carry your momentum a little better. You're not Tokyo drifting, so if I just turn, Sora does a little Tokyo drift. I prefer not to have that, so I will jump into my next directions. Hello? Why'd I do that? That was a misinput. And then for this guy, you always want to poke him. If you don't poke him, then he will instantly attack you. And if you're on crit, no kill. Other than that, you just do that, and he will just be like, oh, what the heck, I got poked, and then not attack for a bit. How you grab these chests, in my opinion, is probably faster if you go into the forest first, then talk to Simba, and grab this chest, and then grab the other two, but I'd still stick with the way I'm doing it. Alright, we're done. So at this point, I set everything to Sora attack, because for the most part, I'm not relying on my party members to do anything. I'll check keyblades and accessories, I'll put on abilities. Personally, I don't like having both guard break and explosion. There are use cases for why you would have one over the other, or both at the same time, but I always have explosion on. Again, it's just a preference. And for me, for my shotgun route, I always check the first 3 chests of PR in case it's already done on Rampart, or it gives you extra growth. It's pretty quick to check these chests. Okay, so we got Slide Dash and Trinity. That's pretty good. Trinity opens up a lot of strats already. And then go to LOD. Again, this is my person routing. You can see people that will go to like Disney Castle, or you'll see people that go to Halloween Town right away, or to Agrabah right away. It's kind of a route preference, but again, Rando is Rando. You can get rewarded for one choice versus another. There's no immediate correct choice. My preference, though, is to look for the quick checks that can potentially lead to growth. And the sooner you find growth, so you get arrow dodge, the faster your movement will be. Unless it's a dodge roll or high jump. Those don't really contribute. Again, setting Jack to party attack and taking all his items. He does not need them, and it's probably better if I have them. You could probably just leave him with a potion, but I always take everything. For this fight, again, on crit, it's easy to die. But on beginner, it's a little rough. Alright, cool, we died. Yeah, I do not want to be in that fight particularly any long, so we death abuse to get out of it ASAP. What the fuck? Is this dodge slander? Listen, in terms of getting you around super fast, dodge roll doesn't cut it. It's not good. Now for avoiding stuff, dodge roll's great. I love dodge roll. I jump for moving around? Okay. Anyway, right off the bat, we want to immediately go for Dance Call, and because I don't have any limits or anything, I know Dance Call is the very first thing on the list, so I would sit down and spam. You want to just inch forward and just slowly make your way. If he starts jumping away, you want to just catch him, but you want to like inch forward, just like tap the stick around, because as you're moving around, Sora does damage as he spins, Sora and Jack. So you can see someone, or the drill mole just died. And you always want to go triangle, X, triangle, X, the synchronization one. That attack is the strongest one, and it will definitely do the most damage. If you do the downbeat one, you are not doing as much damage and a little bit less optimal. Now there are actual use cases for that, surprisingly. I throw an ether so that I get my MP back. I could have waited, but I think it's probably faster just throw the ether. There are use cases for using exclusively the attack reaction command for the limit. Fun fact is, what is it? Sora limit, or Sora with XP boost, he only gains XP boost for anything done with the RC. So I was not supposed to go in there. I muscle memoried because I did a really weird seed a bit ago. But you should check these chests and then you should leave. So we got a torn page, so there's more torn pages here. And for here, what some people do, and what I personally do, is I like to kill these 3 guys here. It's pretty free XP. And you could potentially get an ether. Ethers are definitely your best friend. So from now, I go straight to OC. I don't really like to jump across the GOA a lot, so I'll stick with like what's relatively adjacent in the early phases of the seeds. Eat the bear seed? It actually could be. It definitely could be. So really just making sure I glide. There's definitely an issue of how you really play the game in terms of, oh, you gotta glide a lot. It's kind of uncomfortable. So I get away with it because I actually play claw. So you can see that I'm holding Y, or holding the glide button square with one stick, and I'm using the other stick with my thumb. So some people definitely can't do that because it's super uncomfortable, but it's definitely how you choose to play. You just understood what I said earlier? Even I don't remember what I said earlier. Alright, cool. So we're not done, but we did get two good abilities. Form boost, item boost. Those are both great. And then I'll check SP. Again, coming around the circle to minimize the crossovers and stuff. Doing that kind of movement doesn't actually matter. It's just funny. Alright, again, set everyone to Sora attack and yoink items. And here you can also potentially check keys, so MP Rage, that's decent. I can put that on. Got two new abilities. And in fact, I probably don't need anything. Usually you don't need to actually put on armor or accessories, because either you're on crit and you die instantly, or you just don't need finishing plus. That's actually amazing. Now if you're on crit, there are 3 finishing pluses in the game. If you're on any other mode, there are 2. So the fact that we found one of them this early on is actually amazing. Okay, we found a magnet, and we're done. So I will check these last 2 chests. You could probably just leave and save like 10 seconds of just going here and doing the minigame, but you're already here. Might as well check the chests in case they have growth. So we're done with SP immediately. But literally don't need to stay here. And we also have the tool Magnet Finishing Plus. Magnet Finishing Plus Explosion, so that is one of the greatest combos in the game. Definitely does a lot of damage, especially at Magnera. Magnega, it kind of gets annoying, but at that point it's kind of whatever. Can't really do much about that. But for now, we won't really worry about menuing anything. Right now we'll just focus on getting around, because we are still doing the early phase checks. So with 3 torn pages, I will actually do all of them until either I get to the last page and I run out of pages, or 100 Acres done. So we found a fire. Fire's good, so we start with Fyra then. I definitely do not recommend, or at least for seeds where you have to get all important checks, I definitely never recommend just leaving the world immediately. Hey, we found a glide! So we could have theoretically got that sooner. But, oh well. Yo, have a good night, Wolf Scout. See you later, dude. Appreciate you staying. Yeah, at this point, we just do the pages as you would. For this one, I just move Sora all the way to the right, and I just spam X and Y. Or, sorry, A and Y, or what is it, circle and triangle? Whatever the correct buttons are for your controller config. At this time, you can also spend some time thinking about what ideas and strats you want to do, so while you're doing these minigames, you can be like, oh, what worlds do I want to go to next? This is kind of your downtime to think about stuff like that. Alright, and now we do the next page, and maybe we're done. We'll see. I'll wait For me personally, I always grab the chest in this order, but there's some people that grab this one first and then grab the other two last. I don't do that. It's mostly just because in my head, I think I don't want to cover, or I don't want to double cross paths. So now we just do this minigame. For this first part, it's pretty standard. There's no obstacles, so you can't die. Because it's also sped up, it can definitely be tricky for first timers. So for this one, you can just use square once in a while. If you are afraid, you definitely can always just try to pause buffer, or maybe like abuse gopher as much as you can. This one's definitely a hard one. You kind of do have to actually follow the intended path. The other one, you can just hold far left after that, and you're good. After you get gopher, you don't actually have to stick in the middle. It's obviously a little risky in the middle, because poo can get hit. And for this one, you gotta make sure you fall in the middle, grab a gopher, and you can just hold all the way hard left, and you will be a-okay. That is the easy way to deal with that minigame. Alright, so we still have nothing, so we're gonna do this last page. I always check the chests again in a similar way where I don't want to double cross paths from right to left. And if I'm not done, then we go talk to Tigger. There are some people who will leave the minigame and come back until they get a torn page, but honestly, if you're just gonna be here anyway, you might as well just stay and do the thing, because you're gonna get kicked anyway. And then you just do the minigame. Quick trick is, if you saw I was look kind of fast, you can hold down, and it makes Sora fall a little faster. Now at this point, you can either do DC or Agrabah or East Castle. I'm gonna personally go do DC. And we'll check all these chests, and maybe we'll be done soon, like immediately. The glide actually being super helpful. We have level 2 aerial dodge, level 2 glide, so we're pretty quick. I personally do that kind of routing. You can alternatively just walk up these steps like a normal person. Just jump, 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 and grab the chests. Alright, so we don't have any forms. I don't have wisdom, I don't have auto forms, I don't have valor or limit. So leveling in this hallway is open, but I can't do any of it right now. I talk to Minnie. You should always talk to Minnie because she always gives one check. You can always use this time to put on abilities if you find any. So I definitely want this finishing plus, so I'll put that on. Oh, we have accessories. I guess we put those on. Nope, no keys. So you can either go and do the escort, or you can leave. There are benefits. One benefit of leaving is if you find like wisdom or valor, you can level those forms in the hallway. Or you can just leave, and we can hopefully maybe find something of use in Thomas River. Again, it is ABN, which means we need to find all important checks. So we are technically not done, so we are making world progress, which is what matters. For this mini push, it's kind of you kind of gotta learn how to do the push as you go. But personally, what I always do is imagine she's like a little square. You want to be on the, that's like, or a rectangle that sticks out from the wall, so it goes from the wall. She sticks out a little bit. You can kind of push like the edge of her. And then if she ever is getting close to attacks, you can just go up to her in a triangle. Do the RC. Doing the push definitely is a learning curve. You don't want to be too close to the wall because you could push her away from it. You don't want to be too far away because then you'll miss it. Now for this room, some people actually try to go for kills. With Rando specifically, I see no point. You'll be getting levels in a more opportune or better ways later. So I always start off by doing the RC. It pushes things away immediately. And then I always hold the camera all the way down so I can have this overhead view. And then when I move forward, I wait until I see Minnie is gone from the bottom, so you can see it now. So I walk forward, and at this point, when she's under my screen, when I don't see her, I go hit triangle, I hold forward, and then after maybe like 2-3 seconds, or 2 seconds, I'll come back and get her, because she does have a max distance that she walks. If you just call her, she just stops. But you can lead her onward if you just walk ahead of her. Eventually she will just stop, so you can see that she stopped just now. So that is what we're sort of abusing in this room. We're making her walk the farthest length while interacting with her the least amount. We got Master Form on level 17. Okay. It's kind of funny. Getting Master actually does change a lot. Also, she doesn't need to be in the middle of the throne room or anything. Literally, as soon as her foot crosses over the step, you can go do the RSC to finish the mission. So right now, we'll go check all these chests, see if we finish Town of Server early. Oh, we have another area dodge. We could have had this way sooner. Again, it's Rando. Some people could route it earlier. But the main benefit of having a better area dodge is the acceleration. Having an increased area dodge means that your acceleration for when you go to a glide is way faster. So for this fight, you can just do single hit air combos over and over, but never do a finisher. So for that time, Pete actually jumped in the air, so it kind of made it impossible to do the extended combo. But you can just juggle him like that. Just never do a finisher, and you can just keep looping him. Now, he's just a normal boss though, so you do have to do a finisher to finish. But you can just juggle him if you do, air combo hits that do not finish. So none of those hits were finishers, so we can just infinitely stagger him the whole time. Luxord is a similar boss that you can do that kind of thing with. It's not the same, you can't infinitely stun lock him for regular Luxord. For Data Luxord you actually can, but we will not be doing that. But that option is there. So we're not done, but we don't really have the best tools right now. The best tool we have is Magnet Explosion, but it's only like level 1 magnet. So it's not the best, so I will personally just leave. I'll wait until I at least get Magnera. Maybe because it's ABN, I'll wait until I get more forms. But for now, we'll just go into Agrabah. And again, we try not to do these fights if we can. They are definitely slow. So we'll try to death abuse if we hopefully can. It's a little tough. But eventually it works. It's definitely way faster to death abuse on that fight than to actually stick through it, because there's so many enemies. There are so many enemies in that fight. I always check chests in this specific order. As far as I know, there's no one, I don't really see any other people in the community that race or do anything to check these chests in a different order. Seems pretty standard because it brings you in sort of the U shape and brings you up to the palace gates. We put them on sword attack, and at this point, if we get more magic, I'll change my custom. So I got a magnet from way long ago. I'll yoink all his items. Maybe I'll put on Ether. Check Keyblades. We got Master, so we can check this. It is Jackpot. Jackpot's actually pretty perfect. With Wisdom, or sorry, not Wisdom, but Master. With Master gaining levels, or form levels from Drive Orbs, Jackpot does help that if we ever get in a situation where something does drop Drive Orbs frequently. There are some people who go up top. I personally always go the low route. It is a personal preference, I'll say. Ooh, we got a Reflect. That's actually really good. So for now, we will just go grab these chests. We'll show a quick thing. Second chance, hey. That's actually super useful. So let me grab these 2 chests really quickly. There will be times where you want to open one of the chests. So it's by the Fat Bandit that we saw. I'll go in here and poke around. So you can see... Let me kill these guys really quick. So you can see that this is blocked off. You can either break it with explosion, guard break, any fire, blizzard, or thunder, or if you have the fat bandit spawn, you can just breathe fire. However you feel is the best case to fix it. So let me show off the fire one. And then we will move on. Reflect. I believe the reflect hit does break it, but I don't think, but magnet definitely does not. Gotta kill these guys. So I do have a fire, so what is fire, and you can break it. And then again, alternatively, explosion does kill. So if you ever have trouble checking that chest specifically, then if you have magic, just use your magic. So you can always avoid the enemy spawn trigger here if you just immediately double jump into the glide. Same thing from that chest to this chest. If you walk, they spawn. So if you want to avoid those spawns, then just go for jump immediately into a glide. Now for this room, there's multiple ways to grab it. So the classic way people grab it is the top chest, this right one, then we go cross over to this one, and then what you can do is you can sit here, wait, and then jump away from that attack. And then for that chest, you just kind of want to either quick run or aerial dodge, glide away as soon as possible. Now for this minigame, you want to make sure that you are obviously just constantly pushing a boo and making sure you're jumping over the wave. On crit, it's definitely more scary, but for beginner, it's definitely super safe. If you get hit by accident, it happens. We have drive converter now. Drive converter plus master is actually really good. Alright, so with we have the rest of our shotgun, we kind of cleared everything. So the places we have left, we kind of have to commit. One world in particular that we can do super quick right away is Beast Castle. Really, when I look to do Beast Castle in an ABN seed where I gotta get all important checks, I make sure that I try to find, Reflect. The main appeal is I just want to be able to deal with Thresholder super easily. This might be a little tough to death abuse. Goofy does frequently kill things and make them drop MP orbs, or HP orbs. Here's to hoping he doesn't. I like to just stand by Goofy, because he likes to follow after Sora. So if you stand next to him, his AI is programmed to just not move, really. Again, if you set them to party, or a Sora attack. If you have him party attack, good luck with that room. You're gonna probably have to do the whole fight. How you do these outdoor chests, I guess, is preference as well. I always go left to right. Reaction boost is pretty good. It's definitely super helpful. HP up. So if we got that HP up any sooner, then death abusing in that fight would have been like way worse. So I'm glad to have gotten HP ups way later. Alternatively, you can wait till you get like Valor or Wisdom and level it in that fight, because that is Infinite Heartless, which means it's attacks for Valor form, or it's Heartless for Wisdom to level. So you can wait to do BC for later. Alright, so we found a Thunder and we're done. That's actually quite surprising. So that means we can just leave right now. Honestly, really surprised that we're able to just leave after that. I usually go in with the expectation that you gotta go kind of far in this. Alright, so at this point, again, there's little options. You can go to the world never was, check those chests. You can do Hollow Bastion. You can do maybe Port Royal. You can maybe do Twilight Town. Twilight Town is pretty safe. I personally wouldn't do LOD until I get like Wisdom or something, because if you have to level forms, it's pretty important. So for one trick, I guess we can do quickest the world ever was. So we can do the Roxas quick run. I'm not gonna actually do the quick run for this specific one, but we'll show it off. I kind of want all these. So we'll go into our menu, use all our boosts. Let me check keys. I believe I got... Oh yeah, we have a better keyblade. 910 jackpot. Dang. So I could actually fight Roxas legit right now, but for the sole purpose of beginner tricks and all that and understanding, we can go over the Roxas quick run strat. So I didn't really find anything in that in any of those chests, so I'll probably just die here. So at the start of the fight, you really just want to try to react and quick run away, or area dodge glide away. Now he always does 2 attacks, or he usually does 2 movements. Sometimes he'll just do 1 into an attack, and then he'll go for some attack. He either does the stand in place attack with a spiral, he'll do some sort of like swinging combo at you, or he'll jump in the air and then attack. So 1 movement. Oh, here he does a little overhead attack. 1 movement, another overhead attack. So after 3 or 4 attacks, sometimes it's random depending on how much movement he does, he'll go for the RC. What you want to do is you want to just maybe pause a little bit before. You can just spam pause like that, and then you can just take his keys. Now in this situation, I have slide dash, so I can go for slide dash into explosion, and that puts him against the wall. And from here, you can just do a quick run. You can be against the wall, and you can kind of just mash square, assuming you don't have guard on or dodge roll. If you have either of those on, the order priority is Sora will always guard if all 3 are equipped. If guard is off and dodge roll and quick run are equipped, Sora will always dodge roll if you press square by itself. But if neither are equipped and it's just quick run, then Sora does quick run. And then as well is, if you do have dodge roll and quick run, if you just long press quick run, then he does that. Right now we'll just take the death. Mostly just so I can potentially show off the fight normally later. There are different ways to do that fight. So we'll do the proper fight down the line. We technically have the tools right now, but we can wait a little bit. So I think for now, what we can do is we can actually do Hollow Bastion. Hollow Bastion has a lot of checks. It's in the similar vein of Twilight Town. The main reason we don't want to do Twilight Town is because if I have to level Final, Twilight Town is just full of nobodies. And that's the best way to level Final. So because we have Magnet Explosion super early, we can just do Magnet Explosion spam pretty much. I always grab the chests from up here and going across. If I have to go to Bailey, I don't really want to grab those chests anyway, mostly again to not cross paths that I have to go over again. 2 Mega Ethers. Alright, for Bailey specifically, I'm going to change my custom. I don't really want fire for that. Fire is not really too effective. Oh hey, another magnet. So Magnera is super good. So now we can do places like Agrabah, Timeless River, LOD, OC. We got a lot. So we'll just spam Magnet, or spam a Thunder here, kill these guys. Now for this part, what you can do, since I have Magnera, is you can just stand in the middle and just throw out 2 magnets. So I'll chuck an Ether first, and then put out 2 magnets. And it's pretty effective at killing everything. Because Magnera is just so... the pull of it is so good. We gotta reflect in torn pages. Okay. So because we got a torn page, I will actually go immediately back to 100 Acre. The reasoning why is mostly just because 100 Acre just has a lot of free chests. You don't really have to do any fights. And you can just guarantee get something here. And you have to do 100 Acre anyway, if you're doing an all-important check run like I am. So there's different ways to do this. The way I do it is I always go into the cave. I don't do the escort until I grab all these chests, because there could be a chance that you find the only important check in Spooky Cave and you don't have to escort the kills. So I'll just go check all these chests. Now this is my personal order check. I know there are some people that do it from left to right, but I do right and across it in the middle. Alright, so we're not done. So we actually have to do the full escort. So I gambled, assuming I didn't have to, but that's my fault. You can either walk forward. What some people do is you can aerial dodge the rock, but if you miss, it's all good. Now there is a B trigger. So if you walk forward, right here, right around here, the B spawn. But if you want to avoid it, you just kind of gotta, you do have to sort of feel it out, but the trigger is around there. Whoops, missed the air dodge again. You can just do a high jump, and you can spam glide to sort of make Sora hover over the gap forever. There we go. Now the trigger for the bees is right around maybe this slash in the ground over there. So I try to jump and then glide over. The trigger for the bee spawn isn't actually that big. I can stand right about here and they don't spawn in. And then there's one more bee trigger. It's kind of a little bit past this left rock here. So I will jump. Unfortunately, I missed it there. But the joys is that you can just throw out magnets and they instantly die, especially if it's Magnera. And you actually don't need to wait for them to go all the way. They will eventually come. As long as you cross over the ice, then you're okay. Alright, so we're not done with 100 Acre, which means we do indeed have to find the last page. So after that, we'll just go straight back to Hollow Bastion. It does indeed still have stuff, so we gotta be a little careful with that. And come back here. I would say come back here immediately. You don't have to do any fights for, I would say, probably like 12 chests or something. You just gotta do some pretty basic movement. And then my preference is to always grab the skateboard, unless I literally have max aerial dodge and max glide. I'm pretty sure it will always be faster to grab the skateboard. Whether you jump or not, I believe it's up to you. I think it's actually slower if you don't. But I enjoy jumping too much to not do it. Wow, so the last thing here is a blizzard and we're done. So for some people, you can literally just take that save warp and leave and done. But I am going to be a little greedy and check all these chests here in case they have any good tools that I could ever want. It's not that much slower to take it. Maybe it's like a minute if you go fast and check all these chests. It's a minute of time spent. But for example, that staff, that could be a duck flare or Fantasia staff. It really depends. So for example, you can think, oh, I already saw that there's a duck flare in the shop. I don't need to check for chests, or oh, I have finishing plus explosion. I don't see a reason to check chests. Then that is perfectly valid. As long as you have, as long as you know what you want, then everything should all be good. Now in these settings, this door is open for me with the via the membership card. Now that will be changed in a future update. Alright, so basically from all those chests, I got nothing. So it was indeed a waste of time to check it. But if I had less tools, maybe it actually would have had something useful. So for right now, we got a lot of options. We can either go to DC, we can do Agrabah again, we can go maybe go to Halloween Town or LOD, we could do Twilight Town to have some stuff. We could do Port Royal or SP. I'm kind of a big fan if I have a huge magic stat, which, so anything above, let's say like 30, I'm a big fan for going to Port Royal. It's not that scary. All you gotta do is just abuse your magic as you go. So I will do Port Royal. I like to quick run in the middle of them and go for a reflect because this, to speed up that fight, is just based off hit count. So at this point, I can just go and spam Thunder and mash Triangle. And the fight's over. Alternatively, you could do something like Magnet into Explosion. So for these fights, it's pretty basic. Again, because of the tools we have, I'll literally just do Magnet, Explosion strats. It's way too good to not use. Drive Rage up is pretty nice. So you can break these boxes with any kind of finisher. Magnet is a finisher, surprisingly, but it won't kill bosses for some reason. My preference is I never take Jack's items. I kind of just let them be. That's all he has is potions. I pretty much usually only take if they have ethers. I have map skip because I'm prone to crashing, so if you have map skip, you can go into the boat, walk back out, and you begin the forced fight. And again, because their stats are so good, I'll literally just do Magnet Explosion over and over. For this, I'm gonna assume that I have to go farther than minute fight, so I'll actually just put on a Blizzard.
This is it.
Yo! Dewey with the raid. Thanks, Dewey. Much appreciated. Welcome, everyone. Yeah, as you can see, we found nothing, so we're gonna have to do minute fight. So it's kind of less scary, but basically you just spam Thunder, or spam Blizzard, and not get shot by the RC. Yeah, welcome everyone. We're doing my take on an educational Beginner ABN video. So if anyone ever has questions, you are free to ask. But I'll just be overly complicating, or over commentating and explaining stuff about this. Yeah, thank you for the raid, Dewey. Do appreciate it. So for this fight, you can just do Blizzard spams. They are dropping Rev Orbs, so you could level, what is it, Master here. It would be optimal. If you want to do like something like this, you can do it for your crit. You should do it for crit. Nice, we got our port. Again, map skip, we got nothing important. I'm actually going to put the Thunder back on, mostly just because I want to be able to do target far attacks. Smash or pass Goofy? Neither. Goofy will just die. Unfortunately, it's Moonlight, or the Shadow, so we couldn't do anything, but it's fine. 2-1 for reverse Rando. Reverse Rando would definitely be something. Yeah, for boat fight specifically, it's gonna be just making sure you hit all the pirates and everything. It is good to have proper MP management, so make sure that you're keeping track so that you can do magic attacks primarily and not do air combos or ground combos, because those are for sure slower. An obligatory Plando promotion. To do barrels, it's kind of like a preference, I would say. Some people do a different order. I personally always grab the first one, because it's like right there, and then I just go from front to back. And for this one, you can literally just go hit this one right away. If you get hit, that's fine. It happens. And if you're ever afraid, it's fine to also take a hit, or you can just stand and reflect. Alright, this is for sure my favorite part of every Port Royal visit. So it's either Blizzard spam or Thunder spam. For me, I love Thunder spam. The last chest is always in this one. I personally always use Magnet to open the chest, or to break the boxes. Magnet is always reliable. You just want to have some decent movement to get around that. Actually, the Magnet tech on Barbosa, I'm good, dude. So we'll always just wait till we find this dude. And then we just wait for Barbosa to come out of the moonlight, or the shadow, and we send him to space. Again, watch your MP to make sure you're not running out, but you just basically can just spam Thunder. And we're done. Easy. Again, you can do the same thing with Blizzard as well, but Thunder is obviously more funny. You can show off the tech, Dewey. I believe in you. It's called Illuminator. I actually do not know what the Heartless's name. I don't really know many Heartless names. So it's funny to just call it whatever I feel off the top of my head. Magnet Thunder him? I literally do not know that. Does a lot of damage. I don't think I've seen people do that. Honestly, I think I know what you're talking about. I've heard about it, but I've never seen it. And again, because of map skip, you just go in the boat, walk out the boat. And then to avoid ambushes, if you actually don't want to fight him, go in the boat, walk out the boat, and it skips it. You actually like most of the names? Coming up with the names on the spot is like naming Pokemon. There's video and tutorials. I'm not gonna. I don't wanna watch it. All right. Well, for this guy, you can just spam Thunder. Don't overcomplicate the fight and do anything you don't want to do. So either do Blizzard spams or Thunder spams, but if you do any kind of grounded attacks or air attacks that actually do physical hits, you kind of make the fight complicated by making GR teleport. He doesn't like learning? Oh dude, learning sucks. It's hard. If you move fast enough, you basically just never get hit. Hey, we found Magnega and we're done. So we could just leave, or we can potentially check chests, so I will actually check. One thing I'm still kind of looking for is Light and Darkness, so that we can force Final Form. Because then once we force Final Form, we can do worlds like, what is it, Twilight Town, and be as fast as possible. Oh my god, hit. I never get hit there. That's crazy. You'll do this for kids tomorrow? Do it. Alright, well, unfortunately, we didn't get anything crazy from those chests. No new abilities, not even like a drive up or anything, or an accessory slot. But we're done here. So, wait, now because we have Magnega, a lot of worlds have opened up. We can do LOD really quickly. We can do DC, Thomas River really quickly, or we can do Agrabah. It's really just kind of whatever you choose, because Magnega is such a powerful tool. Alternatively, you do have to remember that if you have forms to level, you are sacrificing a form leveling spot if you do one place over the other. So with that in mind, a place that we can do, so we can just go do Agrabah right away. Why is Magnega a power tool? Kills everything fast, especially with our huge magic stat. You just put up one magnet, everything dies.
Gather.
Everything except the Fat Bandit. The Fat Bandit will definitely not die.
Gather.
So for this Fat Bandit, you can just thunder him or something. Again, and also make sure you do have proper MP management.
Gather.
For that guy, we can just do Magnet Explosion to kill everything all at once in one combo. And then you can actually, depending on your stats, usually by the time you want to go through here, your stats are high enough. You can just ergo dodge the spike or the icicle back at the source or whatever the things are called. I still don't know names. And you can just kill it outright. Now, I do want to level master. So I want to actually make sure that I have the abilities I want on. So I have Drag Converter, we have Draws or Jackpots on. That is Jackpot, that is Jackpot. So we can just go ahead and go to Master, and then when we get in here, we just spam Magnet.
Gather! 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 Gather!
Now, unfortunately, we didn't get anything, but at least the fight's over. Ooh, we got an XP boost on levels, actually. That's kind of crazy. Alright, always remember to walk backwards. In Rando, you always put in the treasure room so you can check chests. But in regular gameplay, you're always sent out here. So you should always make sure you walk backwards to check those chests. If you go in here, if you're in a form or a summon, it auto-reverts you. So that way you can keep your drive gauge if you are interested in that. In a way, there's like no real reason to do that, depending on what you're doing. But it's something you could show off.
Let's go! Gather! Gather! Gather!
At this point, I'm also kind of just doing this fight for in a really weird way. I normally never use Master here.
Let's go!
It's definitely not optimal to do that. But it is fun if you just mess with different ideas. Alright, so we found out we are not done with Agrabah. So what we could do, because our stats are so good, 38 strength, 46 magic, we can actually just go right back into Agrabah. There's really nothing that's preventing, like there's nothing that we're gonna do to make things more optimal. We kind of do one-shot everything, or one combo everything, if we go here. There's no forms to level, so there's also just not really any way to make this place any faster. So we can just go do this right away. And besides, if we get a form here, that means we can do form leveling. If you get more stats, that helps for, let's say if we want to do like the whatever it was. As long as you manage your MP in that 5 fine, you'll always get a MP refill, so I recommend just doing Magnet Explosions or Magnet Thunders and conserving your MPs if you, or your Ethers or MP if you can. For this one, I'd always go backwards, down, and then the classic Magnet Explosion.
This is it! Gather!
And then if I somehow don't kill any of them, then it's a little unfortunate, but it's a beginner. You're less likely to die.
Okay.
Now, in the meantime, this is my personal thing. I always two-hand the controller, and I always just go to the magic that I'm not going to have. I always go to the bottom of the pillar, then crawl up to the top. If you go to the very bottom, all the Heartless that are spawning, that are trying to attack you, they just go away. Then if you glide all the way over, then go all the way straight down, no Heartless spawn here. It's a neat little trick, but it's super helpful. And then for this one, I want to make sure that my fire is prepped, that I'm gliding my way downward. And then the ring is actually active pretty early. It's active that fast, so you don't really have to kind of wait. So here's to hoping I actually get something important from these chests. If not, that's fine. Okay, we got a scan. Do we have scan already? I believe we start with scan. I'm actually going to put XP boost on and do a little bit of the menuing here. We can put that on. Oh, one thing I want to note. I never put on dodge slash. I think dodge slash is a terrible ability. And 90% of the Randic also agrees. I don't have ethers because I never bought any. I do have a money pouch. Whenever you get money pouch, it gives you 5,000 money. So you should definitely always buy ethers or go buy the Donald's or Goofy weapon in the shop that has the limit that you want before you buy ethers. Enemy spawns for Carpet Escape are always in the same spot. So for now, we're just dealing with the side scroller. And we're already level 33. That's pretty big. Considering that we've never actively tried to level or anything, getting that high is pretty big. Okay, we got Wishing Lamp. Kind of fitting that we got it in Agrabah. And again, on beginner, on crit, this part is kind of scary usually because you can be afraid, or you can potentially be one-shot range. But on beginner, just freely get hit, and you're not going to take much damage. In fact, you usually only get hit once. So for Genie Jafar, it's definitely one of the fights that you kind of have to learn. It can seem scary at first, but there's the kind of general trick is, especially if you're overstated, is to do 3 full combos. You can potentially get away with another finisher, but the main thing about this game is to get good, you don't really want to mash the attack button. So for this will be the instance where we don't. So we immediately go down for the stomach, and then for here we'll do 3 full combos into explosion, but we won't do a second finisher. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then if this was crit, you'd have like about a bar and a half left, maybe. We want for this for safety reasons, and especially because if it was crit, he'd have more HP, and I'm mostly a crit player. You can go down and go for the RC immediately. And then at this point, you can just go for the kill. Oh, he gives upper slash. That's interesting. We may have to actually fight the Roxas. Oh, we do. That's actually kind of surprising. Oh, we never had money pouch. That's our first time. Our stats are good enough. This is me personally wanting to do this. Roxas isn't that bad. The main thing you want to keep in mind is his, what is it? His, retaliations. So I'll just go for the fight. Now, an explosion does add a lot of RV, which is why sometimes they'll do a combo with like guard break, and the AI will behave differently. So I always reflect at the start and mash triangle. And then for this, we'll do 1 combo. Don't do another attack after, do another combo. And he'll always go for that attack. If you do 2 ground combos like that. Always reflect that hit. So that time I wasn't properly managing my RV on him and he got off an attack. I could have provoked him if I went for a thunder, so you can reflect. You can actually just guard that, and then that one you can reflect. I actually didn't get the reflect hit in time. So I'm kind of messing this fight up a little bit. I'll actually go into limit. So I kind of want to use the auto limit mostly just because I can actually get 1 XP off of it if I time this. We got a star chart. That's interesting. Okay. Not the greatest accessory. Actually, no, we have that in constant cards, so we actually could have better stats. Yet another reflect. That's actually pretty big. Reflect is definitely a lot. I'm actually gonna go change my accessory. Yeah, I'll put that on. And we can just leave right away. So now we're done with our first big world. Mostly just because our stats are so good, but that fight, Lexias isn't too hard of a fight in general. So we can either do something like Halloween Town, go back to LOD, we can go Beast Castle. We could just do OC, we could do Twilight Town, or we can go to SP. In this case, you can either make an argument for doing Halloween Town or doing OC. One argument you can also do is we can do Roxas. We can do the fight legit. So Roxas is a pretty loopable boss. I opened these chests already, so we do not need to check him again. But his fight, again, is pretty similar. So one combo you can do is you can always reflect at the start. So walk forward, reflect, lock on, he does damage, and then you go for 1 ground combo. Right, cool. So once you hit the explosion, you don't want to do anything else after that. Don't want to go for another swing, don't want to go for another thunder. And what you can do is you just walk backwards, whiff an attack, go for thunder. Ooh, kind of messed that up. I do want to show this strat off, so I will try to kill myself. Fighting Roxas video tutorial. I did show off the quick run strat at the beginning, but we will show off the normal fight for this time. I did mess up the loop mostly just because of spamming pause. Kind of messed up my timing, so that's partially my mistake. So we'll do it again. So again, we'll go for the immediate reflect into a full single combo. Reflect, explosion, and then walk backwards, whiff an attack, hit a thunder, reflect into explosion. Ooh, that time I actually did way too much damage, and he still had a lot of RV. At this point, honestly, it's probably worth to just stick with the fight. Actually, no, I want to show off the loop. I gotta show off the loop. It's a pretty weird loop. It's a mixture of messing with his force or his retaliation, as well as RV declining or RV decay, something like that.
Take that. Yeah. Take this. Defense. This is it.
Really? Oh, I guess I actually just do way too much damage in beginner. On crit, that strat is definitely more viable. So maybe that's just actually a beginner thing. Oh, he had flash the and did a negative combo. Those are big abilities. If we had those when we did the quick run, that could honestly change a lot. Okay, give him magic boost. Could be interesting. So then, just a basic movement. Let's check all these chests and try to see what we can find that's here. If this place has a form, that'd be helpful. If it has a summon, that's super good for us. Good luck on the rest to see if I'm doing well. you know, nice to see you, Shiny Goomba. Oh, it's all good. We're doing beginner ABN walkthrough of ideas and listening and all that. So I'm gonna try to just XP boost this. There's really no point, and then why not?
Gather.
I actually did just get 2 levels, so that's actually pretty good. Alright, so one of the hardest fights is up here is Zigbar, so we can save him for when we have slightly more tools to show off like a few different ways. I think right now we'll actually go do OC. Olympus Coliseum has a lot of chests that we can go through. And we do have Magniga, Explosion, and Thunder, so we'll make this world super quick. Because we have Slide Dash Explosion, what we can do is we just do a ground combo, or go for the Slide Dash Explosion on him, and it should end the fight immediately. I'm actually going to spend some time now to put on abilities that I gained. I'll leave the auto a bit on. We have a single negative combo, but we have Combo Master. So there's like different ways to do this. To do Escort, you can do negative Combo Master and do Magnet Burst spams. You would do Explosion spam, or you can just do Magniga spam. With our level of stats, it's kind of up to you. There definitely is for sure fast ways to do stuff, but if you just put up a single magnet, it pretty much just stays out long enough to kill everything. I always go into Reflect Magnet here, and again the magnet stays out long enough to just kill any shadow that hides in the ground. Alright, and then for this strat, we can do to glide forward, and then go for a reflect as you get in between all of them. And if you start at a far distance, and then go into that, you can kill all of the enemies with one single reflect. It's not even strictly Reflega, you can do it with Flera and Base Reflect. You just gotta be a little bit more strict with the timing for the smaller Reflect. And for here, we don't have any tools. You could do Limit Form if you had it here. But for now, what we can do is we can just do Thunder Spam. Again, make sure you are managing your MP. You do not want to run out of MP because MP is for sure your biggest tool. Or any magic is your biggest tool for any kind of fights. Sure, you can do air hits, but those are just for sure slower for the most part, especially on a target like Cerberus who moves around a lot. It's pretty tough. So actually, one mistake I did was not menuing. What you can do here, because of our tools that we have, we can actually go put on the negative combo. And we can do negative Combo Master, single negative combo with Magnet Burst on the Urns minigame here. This will allow us to break all the urns as fast as possible, or for our tool set as fast as possible. So just go for a whiff attack and try to go immediately for the Magnet Burst, and you're all good. You want to make sure that you are kind of moving around. Not everything can get picked up by the Magnet Burst, so you do have to inch your way around. Unfortunately, I assumed that I was going to pick up some of those smaller urns, so that was a bit of an error on my part. So for now, I'll actually just leave my tools on as is, as in case I have to go all the way to Demix. Negative Combo Master is useful for that fight as well. Got hit by a rock. I've never been hit by that rock specifically. I've been hit by this rock, but never that rock. I didn't even know that rock was there. That's kind of crazy. So I always go for the chests in this specific order. Alternatively, if you're using a seed generator that doesn't have a glide, you can walk up this path. Now, because we are actually done, I'm actually gonna go grab these chests and then leave. Am I waiting for final form or wait to force final easily before doing Twilight Town? Yes, that is my personal preference. There's definitely mindsets where you can just not do that, go straight for Twilight Town, and then try to find different spots to level final. But I'm going under the assumption that I can find final form somewhere else. So at this point, I have a bunch of new keys, so I can check some stuff. We have a React. That's a good keyblade. Oh my god. Alright, so we didn't find anything. Agrabah's, sorry, not Agrabah. OC's kind of a bust. So we can now go to the other world. Halloween Town is a pretty safe world to go to at this point. We can abuse Master Form, we can use Dance Call a lot. We have a lot of options readily available that we can use. Prison Keeper is arguably the hardest fight that you usually do. You might end up going to Experiment, but usually Prison Keeper is what gatekeeps people from staying here. Oh, I left the negative combo on. That's bad. My personal preference is to always go for the combos. No, unfortunately, he just does his force thing where he becomes invincible. Really, you can just wail on him the whole time. Now, at this point where he's like 2 and maybe a quarter bar left, he goes into final phase.
1, 2, 3, let's go. Yeah. Back off. Yeah. This is it. Yeah. Back off.
Now, using Master there was personal preference. I could have used, what is it? I could have used Dance Call, could have just gone for regular combos, but again, when you have high enough stats, you can be a little bit more expressive or different with your move choice. Alright, so as brought up, we are kind of waiting for final form to show up before we do Twilight Town. But in sort of a race setting or anything, you do have to eventually kind of cut your losses and say, okay, well, where do I want to go that I wanted to keep a form for? Like, oh, I want to wait until I get Wisdom before doing, what is it, LOD or Timeless River. So, you might have to cut your losses by picking a world that you don't want to go to, and you wanted to wait a form on. I think one world we could do is, we can actually finish Halloween Town and then maybe go for, what is it, Timeless River, we could do LOD. Fun fact, Oogie actually has super stupid high magic resist. So if you saw that explosion did nothing, but then an air combo did a lot, yeah, that's the magic resist. So if you can help it, if you want to go through that Oogie phase really fast, don't use any magic. Alright, so right now we're not done, but we can go for presents and do the rest of the checks until Experiment. So one thing you can do is, if your stats are decent enough, you don't have to be this high. You can do it as low, I believe, as 30. You can walk forward, reflect, and go into Dance Call. The Dance Call will bring them all in, and they will pretty much all get close to dying. Depends on your stats. Sometimes they'll instantly die because your stats are really high. Other times they'll just be a little off. Oh, I missed. You gotta be, you do have to be considerate of your tools, for sure. And we're gonna assume that we have everything. One thing that you'll commonly see some people do, this is big with me, is I like to pre-menu everything. So if you see there that it shows, if I go to limit, it shows dance call as my last selected one. If I go hover over Trinity and I walk through a door, if I go back to limit, Trinity is the pre-selected one. KH has a memory system for anything you menu until you use it. It'll always remember the last choice. Alternatively, if you use an option in the menu, it'll reset to the top option. Now for this one, some people overcomplicate this fight. It definitely is hard, but the easiest way to do it is you just walk forward, reflect, and then you immediately, at this point, want to go for the dance call.
Prepare to scream.
So what that does, basically, is it just does the reflect damage, but at the same time, it does Jack's part of the limit, where it pulls every enemy inward. And then it will kill every enemy at once, and then you get all the presents immediately. The other enemies theoretically don't spawn in time for you to get them. Alright, so now we're doing presents. These are faster presents, again, exclusive to Rando. And hopefully we get the check here. Wow. It's just a torn page and we're done. So when that's good, I don't want to do Experimenter Vexen. But dang, it's just a torn page. There's just 3 pages here. It's kind of dumb. Anyway, we'll do Starry Hill. We have to do Starry Hill. There's no point not to. Especially if it gives you something like Final Form or Limit. Or another tool. Oh, we have to also eat the bear. Alright, for the fans, I'll go for a 9k eat. Ooh, that's bad. Okay, that's a good one. Oh, I'm sorry for the camera. That happens for some reason. Alright, unfortunate. We just get Genie. So we kind of got trolled there. Not one of the best checks. So now we can do different worlds. We can do SP. We can just do ST or Twilight Town. We could do STT. We do LOD. We can go do DC or / Time Server. One thing I'm kind of interested in personally is doing Space Paranoids. Again, I kind of want to level Forms in Other Worlds. You can debate and say that it's more optimal to use the Wisdom leveling room here to level, but we'll show off the more basic strats. This one is kind of different. So again, in some cases, you can go level Wisdom and Valor in this fight specifically.
Gather. Gather. Give me strength.
I'm gonna see if I could actually like try to XP boost this for funsies. This might be a little tough. Actually, I don't even have XP boost on, do I? Alright, so this is XP boost range. So I'll just flip a magnet and call it a day. A very stupid strat in a way, but it's really funny. And that's mostly just to show off a cool thing. It actually really doesn't change too much about leveling. We are level 46 though, so we did gain some levels there. We'll check these chests. And then I actually just leave. Now again, this place was already done, but I did want to show off a cool thing as well. And then we'll also just leave. So let's do something like LOD. We can get through LOD super fast if all we do is just do magnet spam.
Gather. Gather.
Alright, so how you do the missions at this point doesn't really matter, it's more of a preference. I personally always do third mission into the second mission and then the first mission. So these shadows are actually being really nice. You can either fire or do a magnet, so I'll do a magnet right there to guarantee that it dies. At that point I also messed up. You know, it would have been faster to do a thunder, but oh well. Now for this mission specifically, really just do magnet spam. And you are done all easily. Depending on their stats as well and your tools, you can actually potentially leave the last two zombies alive. I'm pretty sure they call them zombies. I actually don't know what these guys are called. But you can leave them alive and check the two chests over there. So now that the missions are done, we do need to remember to check these two chests, because again, the all-important check run could already be finished by the time we get here. Usually it's not the case, but there are definitely always the rare instances where you're done super early. So we actually missed the thunder. Now technically it actually wouldn't matter at this point, but that is for sure a good to have. For this you can really just go reflect, because you're pretty, it's like 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get attacked there. This one, you just put up a magnet. I always go for the chests in this order, from bottom to top. Oh hey, wisdom. One of the forms that we actually would have wanted for this place. So that's slightly unfortunate, but that does mean if we do want to level wisdom, we actually can do it in Timeless River now. Then you should always put up a magnet, because in case Assault Rider spawns, it'll just immediately get picked up by the magnet, and you're safe from getting attacked by them while you're doing the wall RC. Alright, still nothing, so we're not done yet for sure. Magnet spam at this point is guaranteed your friend. The easiest tool for mobbing you'll always want. Your combo boost is pretty good. Alright, so we still have to go. Not terribly surprising, but it happens. At this point, you just sit for a minute.
Gather. 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 Okay. Gather. 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 Okay. Gather. 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 Gather.
Can I get 999? I think I get 999.
Gather. Gather.
Again, we really got nothing that's better to do while we do a whole minute of this.
Gather.
Hey, we got 999.
Gather. Gather.
And we got to level up. We gotta level up. It's pretty funny. One thing, let me try to do this. You can actually attempt to level Master Form on this little bit here. Sometimes, if you have Master Level 1, you actually literally can. This will break things immediately if you do a fire. Unfortunately, I didn't get a level, but that option is always there. If you have no final level at all, you pretty much always get final level 2. It's just a small thing if you just feel like leveling final. Or it's not fun. Master. Not Master the whole time. For leveling Master, you could do that, for sure. That was a misspeak. I misspoke. For this one, you could either do Mulan's Limit, or personally, I just reflect into Magnet, and then just walk around to ag-roll the bolt towers. Eventually, they'll try to attack you, but then as they face you to attack you, they end up dying on the Magnet. So one thing we'll try to do actually right now is Shunt You Skip. So it is kind of input intensive, but the general idea is you want to jump over an invisible barrier for the Shan Yu fight trigger to access the throne room early. So you go for the biggest jump, and then you go for Master Form. Ooh, at that time I messed it up. And then you just do Master. We should have some drive recoveries. Perfect. Now eventually you'll get high enough that you'll be over the over the fight trigger. So again, for that general Shan Yu skip, all you do is jump, reflect, jump, go into Master, area dodge and Master, reflect stall, so that you can revert and do another aerial dodge. Then go into Master again if you have the drive for it, otherwise use your drive recovery. And you just do that. There is, like, you don't have to do it completely the whole time. There is, like, the wall actually has a proper height. Oh, hey, we're done. But, you just do that. Alright, so we're done here. So now, there's different things we can do. We can finish off the World Never Was, actually. You just try to do it ASAP, get through it, and maybe see what's there. We can go to Twilight Town, call it a day, and try to see if we can find final here. We can do STT, and sort of slog through it without limit. We can also do, which one? It's Timeless River as well. The main thing at this point is, if you're trying to be fast, is trying to figure out where to go that you think will have a form, or that you feel would have a form, and that's like sort of effective in leveling. In terms of leveling forms and leaving stuff open for leveling other forms, doing the World That Never Was makes sense. Because you can really only level final form here. You don't even have final form. So we can just go straight for here. I can use Audible. I'm not going to be able to use any of those forms. That is good to know that I have those. Yeah, we should be fine. This is going to be a weird fight, but we can do it.
You really shouldn't have betrayed us.
Actually, I think I should wait. Goofy, why'd you take the hit, bud? Yeah, I'll actually come back and show off the fight when I actually have like final form or other tools, now that I think about it, for the sake of showing. I think what we can do is we can just call it and go to Twilight Town. I do want to leave it, but I don't think we're going to be finding final form. And I've been checking keys once in a while, and I have no way to force final. Now, there is the base game method, which is raw forcing final, where you go and get anti-form over and over until you eventually get final. But we don't have to do that. We could do that if we really want final form and if we're dependent on it. For right now, I think I'm gonna try to see if I can go without doing that. That is always open, and if you are definitely new, it is definitely a recommended strat to do that if you really want final form. You can always just raw force final using any form you have in a world that takes your party members out of you whenever you enter a certain room. For now, we kind of have to do as we will with the tools we have. If we do get final form here, that'll be a little tragic. But it happens. Found the negative combo. Alright. Well, that's a Keyblade. Does it have final? Ooh, it has the other XP boost. That's kind of good. That's good to have. Unfortunately, we don't really need a level, but if there ever was a world where we do, XP boost is for sure useful. Alright. I'm actually gonna try to speed up this fight super fast. So we'll be doing chicken strats. It's a mixture of magic spam. We have to reach a hit count limit, and so if we just throw out magnets over and over, and eventually we will reach that hit count. It's 100 hits, I believe. The chicken is there just in case to pull things if they somehow spawn too far away. Some people would check the chest from right to left. A lot of people I see check from left to right. It's kind of a preference. I don't know if there's actually a speed difference in checking them, but that is something to keep in mind if you are trying to be super quick about this kind of stuff. Okay, well there's light and darkness, so that is rather unfortunate that we found it just now, but that does give us access to final form. If you are interested in forcing final, you can actually technically do it from right here. Hey Pan, and we're done with Twilight Town. That's kind of crazy. So what we can do is we actually get our party members forced out. So we can just go there, go into a form, get anti, walk back down here, and because our party members are taken out of our party, we are force reverted, so we get our drive gauge back. So that is the main thing you could do here.
Let's go.
So we will just quickly force final and carry on our way. You want to make sure that you do not transform or form explosion next to those enemies or next to the shadows here. Because if you do kill them, then you no longer can do this. 10-9 draw. It's pretty decent. I mean, just give it a good Keyblade. I'll give it that. I'm a big magic fan. Actually, I'm gonna put on Shock Charm. Shock Charm is really good to have. Alright, and because I do have to level forms, and we're on a staircase with shadows, we're just gonna go level forms here. And all this tower is just magnet spam. It's not terribly overcomplicated, but you gotta obviously make sure you're timing the magnets so that you're not putting up a magnet that overlaps with another one. Because there can be cases where just putting out magnets over and over, you are being a little unoptimal with usage. So we found Stitch that unfortunately doesn't really help too much. Surprisingly. We found a Glide though. Glide level 3 is pretty good. We definitely could have But actually, no, we couldn't have had that without finding other forms. Now, unfortunately, we might be getting to the point where limit form could be an STT. So now we're at the crossroads. So just for the sake of leveling final, I will actually go back into Twilight Town. And we'll do the TT2 fight only, just so I can level final form. Alright, so we did get level 3. We also technically are getting final levels right for a form that we may potentially need a level. So this isn't necessarily a bad choice as well. It would make more sense to level a final in the world it never was, but we also want to figure out a way to beat Xigbar comfortably. So right now, we actually do have enough tools to go fight Xigbar. We'll actually go do that. One thing you want to do once in a while is see if you can get the free Mega Elixir and Elixir. I did get the Elixir, but I have not got the Mega. I believe it's because I am missing a few visits or chests, or synth item requirements. So for Xigbar, there's multiple ways to do the fight. There is a tutorial video in the Discord. I'll try to remember for this YouTube video to link it, since this will be on YouTube. But one fight we can do like the magnet strat. The magnet strat is super basic, and it doesn't matter what magnet you have. You can have Magnega, Magnera, or base magnet. For this one, always just walk down or stand in place, reflect. Now, if you want to be for his phases, ooh, I overdamaged him. I think I overdamaged him? Oh, what? He was very nice, and he should not have done that. So we will do one full air combo, and before the finisher, we'll spam magnet. Or before the second finisher, rather. And we just rinse repeat this. So that is for sure one of the easy basic ways to do this fight. Now again, we are trying to be conscious of our form leveling, so I'll go into final form, as well as check every chest that I can. Ooh. Unfortunately, drive gauge ups don't mean too much. The max you can have is 9. There was an old update where you can max have what is it? 10 or 11? You can actually get 11. So for Luxord fight, I want to make sure that I don't have any form boosts. It's a preference plus, well, not really a preference. The form boosts actually make you in die and cards longer if you do get affected by those or hit by those. And I also want to take off high jump. Because I don't have an aerial spiral, doing any kind of air combos to stagger him is going to be super hard. So removing the high jump makes it so that if I do air combos, I get the lowest height possible, so I can do them pretty quickly. So then for when you do the Luxord fight, you just hold backwards and just mash jump to avoid his first attack. Then you can get right up in his face, and before he does that little finisher, you can just hop away to the side.
closely.
Okay. Yeah.
A challenge, is it?
Now to DM skip Luxord, you can actually just do infinite air combos as long as you never do a finisher. Then he will never DM you.
I can play the game quite
Ooh, he had limited form. Alright, that's good for us, because then we can actually do STT with limit. Finally. Just have the Hamasonic 2, you got a game over. I'm sorry to hear about that also, bros. Yo, what's up, VG? Educational, yes.
feel it. The moon's power.
This is
Moon, shine
a fun time. For the Syx fight, you can just walk and do reflects, grab his claymore, and then just fly out of the way. There's definitely fast ways to do it, but you just do that to be a little bit more simple. Now for when he lands on the ground, one thing you can do is you can just reflect. Ooh, I missed time to reflect because I was distracted by the pause. Right. Dude. Alright, I'm just gonna go for the combo.
Back off. It's over.
Man, pause buffering does change things. You can always just reflect that. You can do single reflex, or you can chain it into like a thunder or something.
Back off.
Ooh, he's actually gonna retaliate. Ah, his MP, his Berserk Gauge failed. He actually does a lot of damage. Hold up. I think I can do this. Yeah, I can do that. I want to try to show off the basic loop you can do. So let me go back and try to do that.
Do you feel it? The moon's power.
So because I have guard, you can do it, or you can just guard the first attack, or you can just spam reflect 3 times, but you don't want to time it. So guard twice, grab his claymore, and walk backwards, and then come back in. When he finishes his voice line, reflect. You can go for 2 full ground combos. Alright, and as he starts attacking, reflect, and they do another reflect as he's about to swipe there. You get to do 2 full ground combos. And you can just go for a kill there. When you are doing on crit, he's more than likely going to live there, so you can either go into, for example, limit form, or you can go into final form. For sure it's a bit hard. Wow, Valor was here. It's kind of rude. We do have to worry about leveling forms still, so we will make sure we do that. I personally always make sure that Riku is just on sword attack. But for now, yeah, we're again trying to level forms here. So we'll just try to kill every nobody we can. Oh dude, I'm so used to not having aerial dodge that or not air recovery that I forgot I could do that there. There should be a second guy. Yeah, there's always 2 there. So we're still not done, so we do have to check every chest. There should be 4 snipers here that should all immediately die. Then on this platform, there's 4 sorcerers? Or 4 of these guys? I think they're called sorcerers. Oh wow, we're not done. That's quite shocking. 2 become 1. Alright, so we do have to fight Xemnas, unfortunately. Fortunately, unfortunately, I don't know which way you want to think about it. Depending on what your tools have, if you can actually just mash out an attack, if you have the slide dash or flash step, and it's pretty good, easy damage. Unfortunately, there we missed the attack. And again, the classic, always make sure you go for the third RC for that to do the most damage possible. You should have actually like 4 bars down. Oh, 3 almost.
Back off. It's over. Defend. Give me strength. Back off.
Yo, what's up, Jinxed? Welcome back. Dang, he just had final form. That's kind of rude. It's actually kind of rude that he has final form. There were just 3 forms in the world there ever was. It's kind of spooky. So at this point, we have every form, and it's really just up to us to choose how we level them. One classic is you always go to STT, and then you can level limited STT. Been here the whole time? Oh. You sure? We are using the better STT mod, but that does not necessarily affect our routing. In fact, it probably makes a little bit of it slow. So we will do STT first, so that we can just see what's here. Potentially just level limit to max. Prove I haven't been? I don't think I can. I think you win this argument.
It's over.
Crystal orb. It's kind of fitting that we found the crystal orb here. To really speed up these fights, you can really just do Ragnarok spams every time. Pick an immediate Ragnarok.
It's over.
And 99% of the time, it will always
Let's go.
get the hit counter.
It's over.
So STT again, nothing too special. Just go through all the cutscenes, skip cutscenes. Make sure you don't actually ever do this if you want to do it fast. You just start the minigame and then quit immediately. Ooh, not a good quit. 0-3 on the timer. Unfortunate. Oh, that's a bad cutscene skip. If he doesn't kill, throw it a quick Sanzetsuken.
Give me strength.
But that's slow. Actually, that's probably fine.
Back off.
Lizard. Oh yeah, we're using a mod. So the better SCT mod for the current for my version of the tracker doesn't properly track magic sometimes and growth. But if you use the most up-to-date versions of everything, it actually works at the moment.
Back off.
I'm just an update behind or so, because I've yet to choose to update. A quick run's here. Neat. That's actually our first quick run that we didn't start with. Did I update your stuff? What? If it ain't broke, don't fix. It's not completely broke. Quick run max. What were you gonna say, Jinx? Say it. Say it to my face.
Give me strength.
With the better STT mod, actually, you do not have to fear soft lock.
Go.
That was an issue before. But you no longer get a T-post or a soft lock if you are stuck in limit with the better STT mod, so it's pretty good. It's just a pretty funky look. because Sora is definitely not meant to be that way.
Take this.
You just explained how to avoid breaking it by not doing what you're doing.
Let's go.
Is that 1 HP? That's crazy. I'm pretty sure it's still true. I don't think they changed how it's coded, but you actually do not get any limit XP, I believe, from using, what is it, limits in these struggle fights. So if I go to status, if you go to limit, I need 2 more limits. So we'll use 1 here on the Hainer fight.
Ready, Roxas?
Large HP bar.
Take this.
Beginner is crazy.
How could I?
Alright, so it said I needed 2 limits left. I did the limit fully. If I check again, it still says I need 2. You do not gain any limit XP when you were using limits in struggle fights.
Take this. Take this.
He tried his best. He didn't try hard enough. It's because it's a struggle, not a fight.
Take this.
Mayhaps. It's a maybe.
That's more like it.
So I'm pretty sure it doesn't kill, so I'm gonna go for a Dragon Rock.
It's over. Not bad, Roxas.
Yeah, that's good. I'm pretty sure if I did a Sonic Blade on the ground, it would actually kill him before the finisher of the limit came out. And I'm trying to grind limit for him a bit.
My life is a chip in your pie.
Light. Take this.
This isn't what we agreed on.
Take this.
One set of struggle fights you get limit XP. No. I mean, the way you're wording it, yes. That is true. That was technically not a struggle fight, you were correct. I just want to make sure that the way that's phrased, the XP does not, like, get stored or anything. No, yeah, you're good. I just want to clarify that one little point. Thunder, are we done? We actually might be done. Let me check. Ooh, we're not done. So that's kind of spooky. Oh no, the classic. That's the STT classic. You always go to the mansion. So we potentially could have to do Axel, but we'll see. Could actually just probably be done mansion. Actually, oh no, mansion has one thing. You can realize this because there are 3 checks left and there are 3 yellow worlds. So I'm still gonna try to level limit.
This is it.
Now, the hardest form at the moment to level will for sure be Valor. We could do the, what is it, the Mushroom Strat in Agrabah. We can also go level Valor on Creepers in The World That Never Was. So I will actually try to show off both as soon as we're done. Really now? Get max slide. Okay, does Namine have the last thing here? She does not. It's actually kind of surprising. We have one more chest before it's confirmed Axel onward. Ooh, so we have to fight Axel. Interesting. To show off something better STT, we can actually go ahead and use Trinity Limit. So what I'll do is I'll double magnet Trinity. It's a guaranteed kill. If it was on crit, they probably would have lived.
Come here, I'll make it all stop. Burn, baby!
Really? Ah, a blizzard and we're done. So, for the sake of just showing it, I'm gonna grab that chest. Ooh, it has a keyblade. Alright, avert your eyes. Okay. It always flashes white because it flashes white when you go from, STT into TT1 in the base game. So, pardon the flash. We're gonna grind final for a quick sec. Just wanna get this level out of the way. I believe, yeah, that's it. Alright, perfect. Limit? Did I say final? I meant limit. My hand and brain knows what I'm doing. Sorry, my hands know what they're doing. My brain doesn't. So that's level to 7. Let me go level. Let me actually level final to 7. So we're here, and we gotta go do the world that never was, or what is it? DC Thomas River anyway. So if it's not on these forms, then we know where to go. And then again for this part.
Gather. Give me strength.
In a regular crit run, you can level Valor down here, and it's pretty chill. Because a lot of these creepers take multiple hits. Recruit from the great beyond. There's 2. There is it's the same amount as what is it? Any other difficulty? Yeah, it's only finishing pluses and reaction boosts and lucky luckies that are different. The classic spot for leveling forms as well is here, so I'm gonna show off. We can level Valor here. You can just go down the hallway if you haven't finished Timeless River. And then you got all these shadows. Now alternatively, because of the way we did things, we could actually go to Agrabah. We do have the mushroom. And that theoretically could be faster.
Give me strength.
But for now, I'll actually just go ahead and beat Thomas River as normal. We'll go level Master. You can actually level Master like pretty instantly on 2 fights, on 2 windows here in most ABN seeds. Just make sure you quick run backwards.
Let's go. Gather. Gather.
And then that got me level 6, surprisingly. So we're actually just super close. And you want to make sure you're mindful of the form explosion if you're trying to maximize what you're doing.
Give me strength. Gather. Gather.
And there we go, level 7. Nice and quick. And for this one, I'm actually gonna do a high jump.
Let's go. Gather. Yeah. Fire. Fire. Gather.
That definitely was slow, but it's all good. I think I'm very unlucky and I rolled the worst form lottery for this level check on forms. It's going to feel so awful. Thankfully it's an ABN seed, not a 3 proof. Yeah, definitely.
Gather. Gather. Gather.
Kind of the Lilliput map. It's kind of funny. Power boost. Fun. I'm gonna level. We can go this way and spawn in a few Heartless. Wow. So it's actually on it actually is on Valor. Could be Valor 7.
Later, losers. Oh, I can't take anymore.
Called it. We don't know yet.
Gather.
Oh, unfortunate. Not a 1 cycle.
Yeah.
Fire, we're done. Okay, that's a little surprising. So, well, it is a proof on it is a proof on Valor. It's kinda gross. You're confident.
Let's go.
So we can actually go back in the windows and Heartless are here.
Yeah. This is it.
Alternatively, we can for sure go into
Yeah.
it's actually $7. That's funny. We can't go into the DC hallway. Those Heartless are still there. That's actually really funny.
Yeah, take this. Yeah. Yeah, back off. This is it.
Hey, we're done. Not too shabby.
This is it.
That's so funny.
Back off.
Alright, anyway. Rest in peace, car. Dude, our stats are amazing. What the heck? So that's a little unfortunate, but we did level every form to 7. Not terribly out of the way. This wasn't too bad of a seed. Obviously, having to do every 1 page and Lexaeus is indeed a problem, but it's not bad. The biggest thing about ABNs when you're doing them is you want to try to prioritize getting your magic and your stats as high for places that should be super quick to do. Like, obviously, you can do like a Timeless River at low stats, and that would be like as vanilla as possible. But if you can push it off till later, you have better stats, then why not? It's also tool based, so we were lucky that we had a Magnet Explosion super early on. It's just really about tool management, understanding what you have, and figuring out what's worth going to, what's your trade-off, if is it worth it or not. So that's really all ABNs are. Now, if you're doing 3 proof seeds, it's more so about the logic of the game and about where you think things could be and if it's worth going for with the tools you have. So you can obviously do like certain worlds fast, but is it actually worth going for? So it's stuff like that you gotta really think about when you're doing these kinds of seeds or those kinds of seeds. Yeah, I'll actually put this seed in the YouTube video, as well as any relevant guides that are available out there. But if there's ever any questions, y'all can ask in the YouTube comments. I can always look at Discord DMs as well. But ABNs are, I believe they're like pretty fun. It's kind of more so about just doing things at your own pace and learning how to be faster at those things, because you're given different tools at different times. So it's all about flexibility and understanding the game. And it's not a bad seed though. Valor 7 is stupid. Valor 7 is very stupid.